Hello and welcome to Finance Conversation. This is the 13th episode of the Merging Life and Money Show, and I am super excited to be here with you. For those of you who do not know me, I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I help frustrated professional women acquire and apply the relevant financial skills and knowledge they need to take control of their money from the inside out and understand that they can live their best life with the money they have. Thank you for joining in today. If you are watching the replay, make sure to type #replay in the chat and leave me some comments and questions. Welcome, and welcome. I come to you live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to share valuable information about how to achieve financial wellness and live your life with means and meaning. In today's show, I will take a candid look at financial wellness because too many people are fakers when it comes to their finances. I will be focusing on the main reasons most people are broke, and I will let you in on the secrets. Okay? So grab a pen and a notebook as I will be sharing tips, ideas, and strategies that you might want to write down. And if you have any quick comments or questions, make sure to put them in the chat. And if you want to talk to me directly, I will share my contact information later in the show. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, this is the 13th Merging Life and Money Show. In the last 12 shows, I addressed 10 pillars that support most of your financial decision, namely your mindset, your budget habits, your debts, your saving habits, your knowledge of insurance, your retirement plan, your estate plan, how you discuss money matters with your significant other, and lastly, the fact that financial education starts at home. If you missed any of those episodes, make sure to visit my Facebook page or my Facebook group or my YouTube channel or my website to watch the shows or listen to my podcast. I will start with a recent personal experience or maybe a story about personal finance. I happen to belong to a number of business networking groups, members of which are fully aware of the services I offer. And so far, in many years now, only one of nearly more than 50 acquaintances asked me to help them review their financial situation. I'm bringing this up because recent statistics show that more than 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, which tells me that at least 10 of those 50 plus members would be living paycheck to paycheck. And more recently, in fact, last week or this week, I had the opportunity to talk about my services again, and only one of the members noted that he could really do better with his finances. The point I'm making here is that far too many people do not realize that they are broke or know it and pretend that they are not. And the reason they are broke now and will end up broke in retirement is very simple. It has much less to do with how much money they earn or how much money they save or spend. Okay, most people are broke because they lack these two things, attitude and knowledge. With those two attributes, anyone can achieve a comfortable lifestyle as they would be intentional when they use money, and they would educate themselves about finance. People who are broke are scared of finances and money. They don't have enough knowledge to move forward, so they stay fearful, procrastinate, and tend to put off major decisions until it's too late. There is certainly some truth, I should say, to the statement that says you don't know what you don't know. That's for sure. But too many people think they cannot do better, and that it is simply not true. I could tell you that. Everyone can do better financially. They just need to find out how to. So let's start. Today I will focus on three things: why you are broke, how to stop being broke, and the way forward from being broke. So before looking at why you are broke, let's find out what broke means. Broke is a situation you find yourself in, okay, because you are spending above your means or you are barely able to cover your living expenses. Broke means living paycheck to paycheck with no savings. Okay. Broke is being in debt up to your eyeballs. And as I said, broke is a situation you put yourself in. It is not a condition. Okay, the good news is that being broke does not mean that you have no option or way out. Being broke sucks, that's for sure. Okay, worrying about bills and living paycheck to paycheck also suck. And the thought of being broke for a lifetime is very, very demoralizing. Don't worry, you could break the financial funk and get on a better path. It will require some dedication and planning to work your way out of any bad financial habits. So, why are you broke? Let me first say that while everyone's financial situations are different, you all have the ability to change your broke status. Okay? Will it be easy? Not at all. But your financial life can completely switch gears by identifying bad money habits that are keeping your pockets empty. The trick is to really come to terms with bad money habits such as this. I have a little collection for you. You pretend to live a high life you cannot afford in order to fit in. Okay? Think about the expensive designer clothes that you purchase or the clubs that you try to fit in, and a bunch of other useless things that you purchase. Okay? You are a slave to a paycheck trying to sustain the high life. When the paycheck is no longer enough for the high life, you rely on credit card debt. Beside the high life, you don't have any routine or any habit to better yourself every day. On top of that, you are not willing to sacrifice all the expensive lunches and dinners because you only live once. You're low, right? If things don't go your way, it's always someone else's fault. You impose limiting belief on yourself, such as in order to get rich, you need connections and you have to have an incredible idea. Okay, that's BS. You don't invest time to learn good personal finances habits. That's you could fix that. You don't have any constructive goals for yourself because it seems you just don't have anything to strive for. And last and definitely not least, you surround yourself with more broke people with broke habits. So the reason you are broke are many. And I identified about 7 of them. Let me go through them. You don't know where your money goes. Okay? So if you are stuck living paycheck to paycheck and do not have a budget in place, you probably don't really know where your money is going. A budget can help you identify what is costing you the most, where you can make cutbacks, and how to start making financial changes. But just guessing or going in blindly to your situation, you may be missing key information. 2, you are lazy or you procrastinate when it comes to your finances. And in this case, procrastination is your best buddy, okay, your BFF. And you know that finances are not always exciting to understand or look at or being too sexy, but looking at your finances needs to be part of your weekly routine. Too many times I've heard people say that they will worry about it later. That's not important, right? I'll worry about it later. That is how you stay broke or end up in financial pain as you get older. And being lazy is just as bad, and it costs you money. So please remove this bad money habit immediately. 3, you don't pay yourself first. From every paycheck or any money you get or make, you should be paying yourself first. This means putting that money to your savings or retirement account before paying any bills. Okay, this is a popular strategy in the personal finance world and is key to really helping you build a saving. So yes, you want to pay your bills on time and any debt that you have on time. I understand that. But if you focus on just that without prioritizing saving first, 9 times out of 10, you will have very little left to save. 4, you spend money on things you cannot afford. A big problem many people have is not living within their means. Okay? You want the fancy car, you want the big house, the nice watch, or whatever it may be. But if you do not have the cash or the financial cushion to pay for these things, you have no business buying them. Okay? So this is a good recipe to end up in debt real quick. Okay, you are financing items that you cannot afford and wasting more money on interest payments. Of course, it's okay to treat yourself. Okay, I'm not just saying don't treat yourself, but be wise about what you can currently afford. 5, you surround yourself with negativity. People who are negative, pessimistic, and put the blame on others or societal factors can really drag you down. I am sure you are familiar with the saying, misery loves company. So surround yourself with successful people and others who have an optimistic view of the world. Their mentality will rub off on you, and you can learn a lot from successful people. So while hanging out with broke people will keep you broke, it has more to do with the mentality of those broke people than their financial status. Okay, so surround yourself with successful people. 6, you only rely on one income stream. Having one source of income these days can work out in your favor for a little while. But what happens if you lose that job? What happens if the company fails? Being reliant on one source can put you in a tricky financial situation if something comes up, and it can also keep you broke. 7, you try to get rich quick. I know a lot of people like that. Building wealth and accumulating money does not happen overnight. It can happen for some time, but generally this is a long-term approach. The problem is that most of you lack patience. You all want to get rich now, right now. So looking for the easy way out and falling for getting rich quick ideas actually hurt your pockets more than they help. You need to take the long approach to growing your bank account, and most wealthy people, I'll tell you, who did not inherit money, worked really hard behind the scenes for years. 8, you have a consumer mentality. Instead of thinking about buying appreciating assets like stocks or property, real estate, you tend to focus on spending on items like cars, clothes, boats, etc. There is nothing wrong with purchasing the latter. if you have the means, right? But always thinking like a consumer keeps you broke. Essentially, you are focusing on material things that will bring you temporary happiness instead of thinking of a long-term money plan. Okay, so start correcting your consumer mentality and break the spending cycle. Right. So let's look at the second main point: how to stop being broke. The best first step anyone can take to stay away from the financial edge is to make a budget. It is hard to avoid overspending if you don't know how much money you have or where your money is going. So once you have a handle on your income versus your expenses, consider where you can trim that latter category so you can start setting more aside. The first thing you must do is building an emergency fund sufficient to cover at least 6 months of your household expenses, assuming that you don't have one already. Saving that much cash likely won't happen quickly and may require you to make more changes to your life than simply spending less. Okay, you might need to start looking for another job, or developing a side hustle, or try to fit in a few more overtime. But it is hard to beat the peace of mind provided by having a robust cushion between you and being broke. So I'm going to give you 15 steps. I'm about to reveal 15 steps that help you and your broke journey. Number 1, change your mindset and attitude. I think one of the most important actions that you must take to stop being broke and look at money differently is to change your mindset and attitude. It must start here and now. Otherwise, you won't stick with the work or changes needed, especially if there are some blocks along the way. It is easy to normalize your situation and just accept your fate of always being broke, right? With such a mindset, your financial health will never change, nor will you find yourself caring to make changes, because it would appear that there is no way to change your situation. I cannot tell you what will work for you, but find a way to get motivated and alter your thinking when it comes to money. It will keep you it will help you for your entire journey and even for the rest of your life. So my advice to you would be to do some introspection, to find out what is your purpose in life and what your best life should look like. Then admit that you have a problem, admit that you made some mistake, forgive yourself, and work towards getting rid of it. Okay? Taking action is the key. 2, make a list of your expenses. Okay? Listing and organizing your monthly expenses are not exactly fun, but they can be super revealing to how you spend your money. It is easy to think you know how much money you spend and what income you bring in, but writing it down gives you the concrete numbers. Okay, 3, start reading and listening and learn the basics of investing. If you have no clue about investing, about building wealth, and other financial techniques, the best way to shift your mindset and to learn is to read books and listen to podcasts. I mean, you could find them on all those platforms, Spotify, iTunes. I mean, they are everywhere. There are tons available for you to choose from, which can be a daunting, I mean, with so many, okay, this could be a daunting task in itself. But note that Schools are not going to teach you these things unless you went to college specifically to study finance. If you want to understand how to invest, you need to take the time to educate yourself. Understanding the very basics to get you started is not overly complicated. Okay? So, yes, there's a lot of information out there, but it is easier to digest it bit by bit. Okay? Go back and listen to my shows, particularly episode 9, which talks about the basics of investing. 4, lower your big expenses. Okay, remember I talked about the 4 walls before, but let's look at 3 of them. Sorry, while you want to keep your expenses low, I don't think that you need to cut everything out of your life. Okay, you got to live, right? However, if you are tired of being broke, then you might want to spend more time analyzing your big 3 expenses. Those are your housing, or what you call shelter, your transportation, and your food. Okay, the other one is your utilities. Often, people find themselves broke because they are living beyond their means. So look at your overall cost of living and housing. Are you paying too much for rent or for your mortgage? Can you downsize or move to a more affordable location? How about your vehicle? Can you shop around for a more affordable car? Maybe not having a car at all for a little while and use a bike or public transportation. Are you monitoring your food spending? So start eliminating going out to eat so much, because I know most people do. Are you monitoring the sales, particularly, and of course take advantage of discounts and all that, particularly when you shop for food? Or can you just shop elsewhere for better prices? 5, stop comparing yourself to others and what they appear to have. You see your friends, your colleagues getting new big houses, new cars, traveling to expensive places, and you are wondering how you can keep up. Don't worry about what they are doing, because you will never stop being broke if you are constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't know everyone's personal situations, many of which are people also trying to keep up appearances or going into debt to do so. Okay? 6, create a debt payoff plan. One reason you may be tired of being broke is the amount of debt you currently have and the interest you are paying on it. For many, it's a vicious cycle where the interest adds on more than you can pay off. So even after years of paying that off, you are making little to no progress. In order to escape feeling broke, you need to get more aggressive on how you pay off your debt. There are a few options out here, and this will depend on your goals, first of all, on how much debt you have and what you can afford to pay. 7, find a way to make more money. Cutting back expenses and having a debt plan will certainly get you on your way to not being broke, but can only help to a certain point. If you are tired of being broke, you need to find ways to make more money. No two ways about it. Nowadays, you have more options than ever to bring in extra income, and you can focus on 3 key areas to do so. Your current job, okay, you could decide to improve on your career path. Okay, you could decide to start a side hustle or look into the gig economy. Gig economy jobs have been booming, especially with technology, making it easier for people to make more money and find new interesting paying jobs. Making more money will take work. But as I said just now, You have more option than ever before to increase the amount you bring in each month. And not every job or options to make more money will be glamorous, but do what you need to do. 8, write down financial goals and set money goals for yourself. Your first big goal is to stop being broke. And beyond that, you should set short, mid, and long-term goals that you could work towards. It will help you stay focused and work towards something worth achieving for your personal finances or your families. Your financial goals will be personal and depend on what you are currently looking to achieve in each goal setting. But do this constantly. And when you finish a goal, celebrate it. Even if it's something small or simple, remember that you are doing more than many people do for themselves right now. Once you know your budget and have some understanding of where your money is going, you need to then set the milestone. Okay? This can be weekly, monthly, quarterly, or however you want to do this. Okay? This will serve as a reminder and keep you motivated to reach your goals. By not having goals, you have nothing to reach for, and you don't know where you are in your finances. 9, do not worry about impressing others. Okay? A great way to stay broke is to constantly worry about what others have and try to impress them with material things. By blending the consumer mentality and seeing the flash of social media, you can get aggressive with your spending on unnecessary things or grades you don't need, okay? Such as the newest iPhone that has new features that you will never use, but it's new, so you gotta get it. Your friend has it, so you gotta have it. Now, the key here is to ignore what others have and focus on your own money goals. Easier said than done, I know that, but it can keep your pocket full. 10, use credit card wisely. The use of credit cards can be a great thing for establishing credit, for emergency purchases, and even to get travel points or cash back, right? As long as you pay it on time at the end of the month, no problem. However, too many people use it to buy high-price items that they do not have the cash to pay for. This is a good way to grow your credit card debt, especially when a lot of cards have very high interest. Now you are wasting money paying the interest while you are quickly racking up debt. 11, do not spend more than you make. Okay, another one that probably seems pretty obvious to not do, but happen more than you think. You end up spending more than you actually have, and you don't realize it. Some people will say, how could that be, right? Well, you do so by taking on loans and using credit cards too freely for my liking. This sets you up for some debt that can quickly balloon and have high interest rates, sending you in the deep financial hole over time. Saying no to more debt, not buying more than you can afford, spending less, and earning more can all help alleviate this bad money habit. 12, and the last one that I identify is plenty more, but I'll stop with 12. Appreciate what you have and be grateful for it. Despite how broke or stressed you are feeling about money, try to remember that 80% of the world's population today lives on less than $10 a day. Okay, your laptop, your phone, your car, your bed, and even the clean water from your tap are all things worthy of celebration. Okay, there you have it. Please implement some of those steps so that you don't end up being broke forever. Moving forward, which is the third main point, life toughest lessons often provide the most growth. But they are not something we want to do twice, right? So even once you are out of the hole, it is not yet time to rest. Interruption to income can happen in the future. Unforeseen expenses can and will occur. They are unforeseen, right? In that we do not know when they will happen or how much they will cost you. But you do know that they will definitely come. So once you are out of the broke hole, stay out of it. Understand the importance of personal finance, practice financial wellness, and embrace financial literacy. You may still fall on hard times, as financial literacy is not an answer to all of life's ills. However, financially literate people tend to be prepared for the majority of what life may throw their way. Their likelihood of becoming broke is far lower than someone without these skills. Okay, so I feel that I've been talking at you, but it is very important, okay? It's far too many people are broke. So I'm going to start here for today and do a quick recap. So I shared a lot of information about being broke. Okay, I address the following topics: why you are broke, how to stop being broke, and the way forward from being broke. So before I forget, let me share my contact information. You can reach me by sending me an email at mj@mariejocaesar.com or by sending me a direct message via Facebook Messenger. I'm going to leave you with these last thoughts. People are broke and stay broke because they don't get very real with themselves. Okay, they are fearful of the money conversations, and that fear comes from a lack of education and also from the fact that we are told that it is impolite and rude to talk about money. So ask questions, seek out people who are savvy, read, and then read some more. Break out of bad money mindset. Money is just a tool that enables you to live your life. If you do not understand that tool or how and when to use it, you will continue to live a stress-filled life. If you give it too much power, it will consume you. So treat it like a tool or a skill, like any other skill, like learning how to ride a bike. And you will be able to live life more on the term you want to live it. So remember that the way you handle your money on a daily basis is a big factor in how successful you are in building wealth. If you are careful and budget, you can build real wealth. On the other hand, if you practice bad money habits, you will end up broke and unable to reach your financial goals. As you know, I like to end the show with a quote. And today's quote is from an unknown writer. And it reads, "Do not go broke trying to look rich. Act your wage." WAGE. For more information about how to achieve financial wellness from the inside out and live a purposeful life with the money you have, join me next week, Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Atlantic Time. I will be talking about women and money. Thank you for being here today on the Merging Life and Money Show. I am your host, Marie-Jo Caesar. I will be back again next week. And until then, continue merging life and money. Bye for now.